While I was decorating my fireplace mantle for fall, I had a wild idea. What if I turned one of my small pre-lit Christmas trees into Halloween decor? Then I grabbed a white ruffled window curtain I'd found at a thrift store for just under $4. I draped it right over the tree and tucked the edges in around the base. Next, I folded a piece of black felt in half and cut out 2 matching circles for the eyes. A little packing tape held them in place, no glue needed since I wanted to keep this temporary. And that's it. From attic storage to spooky, cute ghost, the ruffles give it a sweet, almost Victorian touch that fits perfectly in my home. And the best part? My little ghost looks adorable in the daylight and at night. When the lights are plugged in, it really comes to life.
For my fall tree, I want to go ahead and make a really nice rustic garland that goes around it, and I want it to match this ribbon that I picked out that I'm going to use on the tree. So I've gone ahead and mixed up some orange milk paint here, and I'm going to put in a whole bunch of these wooden beads. So I'm going to use these to make the garland, and I want to turn these orange. So I'm going to let them sit in this paint mixture, and I'm just going to use something to mix them up. I want to make sure that they're all covered. So once they're all covered, I'm going to go ahead and let them sit in the milk paint mixture for a little while. I want them to absorb some of that orange color, so I'm going to go ahead and let these sit now for a while, and I'll give them a stir a couple of times during the next hour and just let them sit. Now that the beads have had lots of time to soak and they've soaked up some of that orange color, it's time to pop them out and let them dry. So I'm just going to use some of these skewers that I got at the dollar store, and I'm just going to pop them right through the wood beads like this. Once I've got that like that, nice and full, just gonna pop it in there and set this up to let my beads dry. Now that all the beads are dry, I'm just gonna go ahead and start stringing them on a piece of jute twine. Now that the beads are strung, it's time to start decorating this little tree. So this is the tree that I love to use at Christmas, but I want to get more use out of it. So I'm going to show you how to decorate this for fall. So we're going to start with our beads here. These are the wooden beads that we dyed. I've made a little loop in the end, and I'm going to start them near the top. I'm just going to hook that loop on the back, and I'll start twisting them around here. And you can play with this as you're working and keep moving things around until you have it a way that you like it. Okay, now that the beads are on, I want to add some of these acorns. And I've just got a little ribbon here, and I picked these up, or a twine, and I picked these up at the dollar store. So I'm just going to start decorating the tree with these. So now that I've got the acorns all over my tree, I want to fill in this gap down at the bottom here. So I've got some leaves that are just on a vine here, and I like this vine because the vine part is actually dark, so you don't see it as much as some of the lighter ones. And to fill in this gap at the bottom, I want to fill it in with these beautiful leaves. So I'm just going to start wrapping this around, and I'm just going to tuck it right in that space and have those leaves showing. And I'm not going to glue this in place or do anything. Really, the leaves of the tree are going to hold it. These branches are going to hold the leaves in place. So I just want to keep tucking them around. And you can rearrange these as you go, so they're making a nice base to your fall tree. And to finish off our tree, we're going to go back to that really pretty ribbon that this whole tree was based on at the beginning, and we're going to add a bow to the top. I've gone ahead and made just a really simple bow with some long tails, and I've added a little jute twine at the back just so I can tie this onto the very top. And I'm just going to use the very top branch to tie that on. And then I'm going to just place these sides, the tails of the bow, down the sides of the tree. I'm so excited to get a little extra use out of this cute little mini tree this year. It's perfect on the porch for fall, and then I can just change it up for Christmas. I hope you'll think of doing that with your tree as well.
I grabbed 2 tomato cages to get my porch ready for fall. I cut the tomato cage a bit shorter and then placed it upside down in a planter. I tucked the exposed wire parts inside a planter and tied the top 3 wires together with an elastic. I placed a few larger rocks in the planter pot so it wouldn't blow over. I grabbed some fall leaf garland I got from the dollar store, and I wrapped it around the tomato cage. I twisted it onto the tomato cage, and as I wrapped it around, I kept adjusting the leaves so they were facing out. Then I wrapped fairy lights around, and I couldn't decide between the orange lights and the white lights, so I did one of each. Which color do you like better? Here's what it looks like during the day, and here's what it looks like at night. Aren't these fall leaf trees the perfect front porch decor for the season?
I've gone ahead and filled my bathtub with warm water, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting in all of my grapevine pieces. This is going to let them soak up that water and become much more pliable and easy to work with. And I'm just going to throw an old towel on top of them. This will soak up the water, but it'll also hold them down in the water. So this is just going to keep the tops wet as well and give them a little weight while they're soaking. The grapevines have been soaking overnight, and you can see that they've really rehydrated and they're ready to go now. So to start, I'm just going to take some floral wire, and I'm going to use this just to hold the top of my tomato cage together while I'm working. And you can use some of the same wire to hold your grapevine in place. So I'm just going to take the end of this grapevine right here, wrap a little bit of this floral wire around. And I'm not going to worry about trimming the ends of the floral wire right now. I'll go back at the end and trim those all up and hide them. So now, because my grapevine is nice and pliable, I can just keep wrapping it around the tomato cage. And once I have a section around like this, then I'm going to go ahead and I'll just turn this around. If I need to, I can wrap some more wire around that, or I can just leave it as it is. And as it dries, it'll stay in place. And there you go. So we've got it started. And now all we're going to do is just keep adding more and more grapevine until we cover up our tomato cage. So I can even start this piece right inside the wire of that one that I just finished. As you're working, you can slide this around too. You can fill it in however you'd like, but you just keep you just want to keep going up and down until you've got your tomato cage completely covered. Now that the grapevine is all attached to the tomato cage, it's time to work in some of these little willow branches from the deconstructed wreath. So I'm just going to take little clumps of these like this, and I'm just going to start tucking them into the grapevine. You might just have to wiggle them in, and these can be added however you want. And I'm just going to keep twisting and putting these in and twisting them around until they're all tucked in. Now that the twigs are attached, I'm going to finish off the decoration for my tree, and I want to keep the decorations really simple because I love the rusticness of this tree. So I'm going to add some of this super cute mushroom ribbon that I found at the dollar store. I'm just going to wrap that around and finish it off with a little bird and a birdhouse. So after I get this wrapped around, I'll be back to show you what my tree looks like. I'm thrilled with my new tree, and I love that I didn't have to get rid of my old decor and I was able to turn it into something new. This rustic tree is perfect for inside or out, and there's so many things that I'm going to be able to do with it.